Hi, and welcome to the Scratch tutorial. Today, we're going to teach you some basics about Scratch, including information about your sprite, how to move your sprite around, how to make your sprite make noise, and how to change the backdrop. First, let's talk about the areas in the Scratch window. Here, you have the stage. This is where your sprite moves around. You'll notice on the stage that you have execution buttons. The green flag means go, and the red octagon means stop. You can also see that this button will enlarge the stage to full screen. Next, we have your sprite window. This will show you all of the sprites that you have on your stage. You can create new sprites or delete sprites using these buttons. Beside the sprite window is information about the backdrop. We will practice putting in a new backdrop a little later in this video. In the middle of the window are your blocks. You use blocks to control your sprite. You can drag the blocks over into this area in order to control your sprite. This area is called the scripting area. You make scripts out of blocks by dragging blocks into this area, and those control your sprite. You will also see at the top of your screen the Scratch menu and the toolbar. Finally, you will see tabs right here that can help you control your sprite's costumes and the sounds that your sprite makes. As you are watching this video, please feel free to press pause, play, or rewind as you see fit. Now, let's get familiar with the sprite. First, let's delete the cat sprite. Do that by right-clicking on the cat in the Sprites menu. Then you can click Delete. Now we need to choose a new sprite. Choose a new sprite from Library by clicking on this button. Let's choose the sprite called Dog 2. You can double click on him and you will see him on the stage. Now let's try moving the dog around. You will notice that at any point you can click and drag the dog around the stage to move him wherever you would like him. We can also use the blocks to move the dog. Let's try using the block that says move 10 steps. Drag this block into the scripting area and click it. You will see the dog moving very slowly across the stage. What if we don't want to click this button every time that we want the dog to move? We can make the dog move forever. Go to the Control set of blocks and find the Forever block. You will notice that this block is shaped like a C, which means that it can contain blocks inside of it. Click and drag the Forever block so that the Move block fits inside of it. Now click the Forever block. You'll notice that the dog races right off the screen. I can click and drag him to some other place on the screen, but he'll keep running right off the screen. To stop the dog from moving off the screen, you can click again on the Forever block. You'll notice that it is no longer highlighted in yellow. Another way to stop the dog, if he's running forever, is to press this stop sign in the execution buttons. That will stop all scripts from running. Notice that the dog is no longer running to the right side of the stage. Let's say that we want the dog to run forever, but we want him to turn around when he hits a side of the stage. We can do that by going to the motion blocks. In the motion blocks, you will see a block called If on Edge, Bounce. Click and drag this block into your Forever block. You'll notice that there is a white space highlighted under the Move 10 Steps block. This means that you can attach the blocks together in the Forever block. Now that we have our If on Edge Bounce block in, let's try letting the dog run again. Now, when he runs and he hits an edge, he bounces back. However, you see that we have an issue. Every time the dog hits the right edge of the stage, he turns upside down. We don't want the dog running upside down, so let's fix that. Go ahead and stop the dog. Now, click on the blue eye icon at the top left of the sprite in the sprite area. You'll see a line that says Rotation Style. Click on the left-right button in the middle of this line. This will make it so the dog can only turn left and right, instead of being able to flip upside down. And then click the block again. Now, when our dog hits the right side of the stage, he doesn't go upside down. Let's say that we want to make the dog look like he's actually walking. What we can do is look at the Costumes tab. You'll see 3 costumes for this dog in the Costumes tab. Dog 2A is our original costume. Dog 2B is a second costume that we can use to make the dog look like he is walking. You'll notice if we click back and forth between dog 2A and dog 2B very quickly, it looks like the dog's legs are moving. Dog 2C is not very helpful, so let's right-click on it and delete it. Now, go back to the Scripts tab at the top left-hand corner of the script area. You will notice in our Looks blocks that there is a Next Costume block. Let's add the Next Costume block to our Forever script. Click and drag Next Costume and attach it to the bottom of If on Edge, Bounce. Now, if we click the script, you will see the dog switching back and forth between costumes. It looks like he's running. However, he's running way too fast. Let's slow him down. In order to slow him down, click on the control blocks. We can make him wait between each time he wants to switch costumes. Click and drag the wait 1 second block and put it in our Forever block. Let's try it to see what it does. The The dog is walking much more slowly now. However, he's walking too slowly. Let's speed him up just a little. We can speed him up by clicking the number in the wait block and changing it to a smaller number. Let's change it to 0.1. You'll notice immediately that the dog speeds up, and now it really does look like he's walking. Now, let's make the dog look like he's wagging his tail. In order to do this, we will need to edit his costume. Start by clicking on the Costumes tab. Here, you will see the dog's costume. In order to edit the dog's costume, we need to click on Convert to Bitmap at the bottom of your screen. This will allow us to edit the dog's costume. In order to make him wag his tail, let's select his tail. Click on the Select tool on the left-hand side of the scripting area. Now you can select the dog's tail. Simply click and drag a rectangle around the dog's tail. Now that we have the dog's tail selected, we can use the Flip Up Down button to flip it upside down. Flip the dog's tail upside down and reattach it to the dog. You may have a hard time with this at first, and if so, you can press the Undo button at the top of the screen. This will undo the change you made so that you can try it again. For now, our dog looks pretty good. Let's try it out. In order to put these changes into effect, click on the Convert to Vector button in the bottom right-hand corner. Finally, click back on the Scripts tab in the top left-hand corner. Now, let's see what happens when we click our script. So you will see that the dog is wagging his tail, however, it looks like he's jumping up and down. Let's fix this. In order to fix the jumping, click on the Costumes tab. You will notice in the Costumes tab that Dog 2A costume is a little off from Dog 2B. We need to fix the center position of the Dog 2A costume. In order to do this, click on the Set Costume Center in the top right-hand corner. You want to set the costume center just behind and below the dog's ear. Click and drag the middle of the costume center to this point and let go. Now, if we go back to the Scripts tab and click on our block, you will see the dog now looks like he's walking normally and wagging his tail. Great job. Now, let's add some sound. In order to add a sound, we can click on the Sounds tab in the top of the window. This will show you the sounds associated with this sprite. If you click the play button, you can hear the sound. We can add this sound to our script by clicking on the Sound block menu. Here you will see Play Sound Dog 1 and Play Sound Dog 1 until done. We want to hear the entire Dog 1 sound, so let's choose Play Sound Dog 1 until done. Click and drag that block into our script. Now let's try it. That works, but now the dog is moving very slowly. Let's make the dog move a little faster. What we can do to make the dog move faster is remove the wait 0.1 seconds block. In order to remove a block, you click and drag the block out of your forever block. You'll notice that all of the blocks underneath the block you want to remove came with it. Click and drag all of the blocks that are underneath that block, which in this case is just the play sound block. Move them back into the forever block. Now, this block will not affect anything. Try clicking again on the forever block to see if the dog moves faster. That's a little faster. Now, let's add a background. Click Choose a Backdrop from Library under where it says One Backdrop. Here you will see a whole list of backdrops you can add to your stage. Because our sprite is a dog, let's give him a tree. Click Tree to add a tree backdrop to the stage. Now you will notice that the dog seems a little too small. Let's make him bigger. What we can do is click the Grow button in the toolbar. Click the Grow button and then click on the dog. You can keep clicking on him until he's as big as you want him to be. I think that looks good. Now let's go back to our Scripts tab. Let's change the color of the dog. Go into the Looks menu of blocks and you will see Change Color Effect by 25 or Set Color Effect to 0. If you want to constantly change the color of the dog, you can drag Change Color Effect by 25 into our Forever block. This will constantly change the color of the dog. However, if you want to set the dog to one color, remove the Change Color Effect by 25 block by clicking and dragging it outside of the Forever block. Instead, let's set the color effect to a number. Click and drag the Set Color Effect into your Forever block, and then pick a random number between 0 and 200. I'm going to choose 50. Now, when I click the Forever block, my dog will always be that color. Let's see what color it is. 50 happens to be purple. What if I choose 100? 100 is orange. You can keep playing with the color effects as much as you'd like until you find a color you'd like. Finally, let's set the dog to start walking whenever we click the green flag in the stage area. In order to do this, go to the Events block menu. Here, you will see when green flag clicked. You will notice that this block does not have a little tab in the top of the block like our Forever block does or like any of these other blocks do. That means that this block can only go at the very top of a script. Click and drag this block to the top of our script. Now, when we click on the green flag, our dog will start walking and barking until we click Stop. will be all for today. Make sure you go to File, Save, and save your file on your computer so that we can work on it later.